So I started these programs in the early 2000s, and I'll tell you that in the U.S., other than college programs that were about women's history, there weren't women's leadership development programs. And so there was one place that came close, and it was in San Francisco. And believe it or not, it was called the Bully School, where you send your women to smooth off their rough edges was the tagline. Now, this was in the 2000s, early 2000s. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. This cannot be real.
Is just, I never heard of that. This is crazy.
It is crazy. And so when I would go in and talk to people about here's what I want to do, here's what I've designed, here's what it's going to cost, here's the da-da-da. So some people got it, and I had 26 people in my very first class, and they represented a lot of different companies. Others were like, and I could tell it, they challenged everything. So if I send my women to this class, are they going to come, march in front of the building and complain about everything and, burn their bras and do all those things that were happening in the 60s? And I said, look, I can't promise you what your people are going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. But if you want to engage them, if you want to have a strong pipeline of good leaders, then you have an opportunity here. And there were some of them that I know maybe weren't the final decision maker in their company, but they really wanted it. And they would say all the right things, and I'd love to, and I'd love to. And I also had this sense, and I checked with them later, and it was true, that's a great idea, Marsha. Good luck with that. Kind of under their breath, good luck with that. And, we delivered the program for 20 years. And I won't tell you that it wasn't hard, because we launched the first one 3 weeks after 9/11. I mean, there were lots of big decisions that I had to make that had financial implications, that had reputation. And yet, I'll tell you this too, Robin. Men told me, because I gave away the first program, and I want to tell you, it was a very sophisticated program, and that was a $300,000 decision. And I gave it away because I believed in what we were doing. And that's a woman's way. I believed in what I was doing. And I had not taken money from any investors because I didn't want them telling me what to do. And when I talked to men about what to do after the 9/11, because I was having women say, my company's not going to pay for it. We don't know what's going to happen. And I understood that. That was all very understandable. The men said, women won't value it if they don't pay for it. And I didn't think that was true. And guess what? I had gotten millions of dollars of business from the women that got to come to that very first program, because they valued the learning.
That's right.
It wasn't a dollar value.
Planting the seeds, basically.
Yeah. And for some of them, it was an immediate return on investment. For others, it took a while, because maybe they weren't sitting at the table where they had the budget authority to, write a check. But when they got there, they still remembered it because they were using the tools that they had learned in the program. And so the value of that is alive and well still today. I get messages from people who were in many of the early programs talking about how they're still using the tools, how they still have their notebooks in front of them, how they still refer to it, and how they're, sharing that with other women in their lives.